Welcome to SPOTCastSG, Smart Property Opportunity Talk.
We are David and Audrey, Singapore property consultant, helping household owner, investors make smarter property decision move using the W.A.T.E.R concept, the C.L.E.A.R Framework,
and LEX Method.
Okay, let's dive into what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to do a podcast, and that's really defining what the C.L.E.A.R Framework actually does for you.
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
So today, if you are still in a dilemma, owning a HDB or a private, want to sell it off and want to earn more money and want to plan for your future, but you don't know what to do, then this episode is really for you.
Yes, I'm sure people will be curious about what is W.A.T.E.R concept.
Yes, so W.A.T.E.R concept again is wealth accumulation towards early retirement. It actually explains to you why is there a need for you to upgrade your properties or to increase your net worth before you do a good retirement. And when we do retirement, what does it mean?
By retirement, we don't mean that, you just lobo every day, sit around, do nothing. We really just mean that you will have choices.
Yes, you have a choices to work, you have a choice to choose what you want to work, and you have the choice of even, working for fun.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So then as we go into C.L.E.A.R Framework, right, it depicts into very, very simple. C.L.E.A.R stands for clarity, leads, evaluate, align, and reinforce.
Yes.
All right. Why is this so important? Because what we are doing is really planning a roadmap using the C.L.E.A.R Framework. And with a C.L.E.A.R Framework, right, it is actually a guide for you to increase your net worth year by year.
It gives you a very clear idea of what you will need to do.
Yes, that's what the C.L.E.A.R Framework is about. And today, the C.L.E.A.R Framework, once you have your roadmap, right, it's not a forever thing. So once you have it, right, I think our clients have been coming back to us every 3 or 4 years for a roadmap review.
Correct.
Okay, and it's very important because every 4 years or 3 years, likely your goals and your financial capacity will change.
Yes, correct.
All right, so let's dive deep in. Okay, so today we are going to a real case study.
So a little bit of background about this couple.
Yes.
Yeah, they're a family of 7. Husband and wife are working.
Yes. So they're planning to have a net worth of 4 to 4.5 mil by the age of 65. Okay, so the blueprint parameter as we go into the C.L.E.A.R Framework, the first one is really the clarity. What we want to see is what are their goals, what are their financial commitment, and what is the thing that they actually need and want.
Correct. So they currently have a BTO.
Yes.
Which is reaching MOP soon.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of you viewers out there also have a BTO that is going to reach MOP, and lucky for them, they have done an early repayment of their loan.
Actually, really amazing. Within 5 years, they actually clear out their loan.
Yes, so through savings.
Yes.
So what they are going to do is today, if they sell their property, right, they are going to unlock 385,000, 165 in net cash. Not forgetting, they still have a lot of funds going to the CPF, which can be used for investment or next property purchase.
Correct. And then, of course, the family mandate. This is something that they will not be able to compromise.
Yes.
And this is actually one of their priorities also.
Yes.
Yeah, because they need a space for a family of 7, including a helper.
Yeah, and of course, they also need proximity to MRT, school, and daily logistics.
Yes.
So total avoidance of financial overcommitment, which is important because they still want to go for their yearly holidays.
And then children's enrichment classes.
Yes.
These are things that we can't actually avoid. Especially enrichment classes for the kids.
Yes, and of course, financial goal, which is the wealth target, aggressive but mathematically sound assets progression to achieve a 4 million net worth by age 65. So as we go into it, we have to look into the financial commitment.
Yes.
Okay, which is number one, really the maximum capacity if we are talking about a private home or even a HDB.
Correct.
For upgrading.
Correct. Because you will want to know how much you'll be able to loan and things like that.
Yes.
You don't want to go into a property or sell your property off first before even finding out all these finances.
Yes, as you can see on the screen, the names are hidden because we need to protect the PDPA of our clients.
Yes.
Okay, but the income is 13,750
for seller A.
Yes, OA currently has 33,000.
Yes.
And private purchase limit, right, is up to a 1.99 million.
It is using his own name.
Yes. Okay, seller B wise, income 7,000, OA 85,000. All right, private purchase limit is 1.07 mil.
Yes.
Okay, combined maximum limit, the two of them will combine the name and the income together, they can go for a 3 mil mil property.
Yes.
Okay. However, there's a warning. Execution at maximum capacity requires massive outlay of cash.
Yes, 153,638 cash outlay, 600 over 1,000 of CPF, and also a monthly installment. I think this is something, this is what kills everybody.
Yes.
About $9,000.
This is number one, a total wipe out of rainy day savings.
Yes.
A total lifestyle deterioration.
Lifestyle change, I would say.
Okay.
We also always advise people, if you have seen our earlier videos, we always tell people that, you don't because of a property and then you have to eat porridge every day, that kind of
With
thing.
a 9K monthly installment of 1.5 interest rate only, okay, if the interest rate jump a bit, okay, they will have to suffer.
Correct.
That's number one. Number two, okay, they have definitely been looking at owning a car, which they are owning now. Future children education.
Yes. As they grow, they may have more things that comes.
As well as their daily, monthly, yearly holidays.
Yeah.
Okay, so this might not be the best choice for them, but as we dive in deeper, we also want to look at the HDB purchase diagnostic. So for seller A, they can actually go for a 1.04 mil MSR.
And seller B is about 530,000.
Yes, that's the max they want to do if they want to take a 75% loan.
And then if they combine, the HDB limit for MSR will be about 1.572 million.
Yes, correct. So you look at it, okay, this HDB purchase, right, falls into a very sustainable zone.
Yep.
Because we are executing HDB maximum requires of the 78,000 cash, 314 CPF.
And a very manageable monthly installment of about 4,600.
Yes. So what you have here is you have still quite a massive amount of rainy day savings, which you don't know what to do with it. That's one. Number two is monthly installment is achievable, very easy. However, is there a future appreciation? Would this position puts you in a position where you can actually retire with a $1 million fund? So we put in the strategic possibilities after running through the number.
So we have 4 different pathways for them actually. First pathway is to get a new launch.
Yes.
A 5-bedder, 3+ million, and then you have a comfortable space for a family.
Yes. Okay, this project is chosen based on size, location, as well as the space.
Yes.
Okay, and what we are looking at is really Springleaf residences. Not many left, but there's a few units at 3.2 mil, I think, max. Alright, pathway 2 is really the resale condo, a 4-bedder maximum at $2.5 million. Yes, and if you're looking at it, most of resale, which is about the size of 1,004, 1,005, is at this price.
And then of course we have pathway 3, which is to buy a HDB jumbo or EA that's suitable for the family size at about 1.2 million, and then invest in a investment property next time.
Yes, and this investment property is what we call the money engine. Alright, while you're staying in your forever home, the HDB, a good size one, alright, the investment engine or the money making engine, right, is the one that is running hard for you. Okay, so it's very important, and we will have to apply our LEX method on this investment property.
Yes, of course, the last pathway will be a resale condo at about $2 million, and also one of the name will go into a small investment property.
Correct. So this pathway is also very, very good, and if your financial capabilities are good, okay, reason because you don't have to wait 4 years to start your investment.
Yes.
Okay, because as you know, if you buy another HDB, there's just now I mentioned 4 years, it's just a 5 years wait.
Yes.
Alright, so as we go into evaluating the pathway that we have chosen for them, okay, the first pathway you're looking at is there's a few things that really takes the red flag. Okay, number one is high commitment. Number two is
you can't move in immediately.
Yes.
Yes.
And you have to spend money on rental lor.
Yeah, correct.
Yes. So the third one is really a high vulnerability because it forces a very significant monthly installment, wiping out your total savings.
Yeah, remember we talked about the money mortgage about $9,000.
Yes.
That will eat into a big part of their income, and then that may mean the yearly holidays will be gone.
Yes. Right. Evaluating pathway 2 is the resale condo compromise. Okay, today you cannot get a new launch, you want to go into a resale condo. Number one, resale condo, can it really make as much profit because you are already the second timer to go in? But of course the price is lower, 2.5 mil max.
Yeah, this is actually within their ESR limit.
Yes.
Yes, but it also pushes their capacity.
Yes. But then the good thing is no rental drain, but then it still goes into a very quite a significant high commitment.
Yep.
Okay. So the third one is really the strategic victor. Why do we say so? Because number one, you move into a forever home, which is your HDB.
Something that when after you buy, maybe by 6 months later, you'll be able to do a renovation and move in.
Yes. So good location, near MRT, near to schools, big space, renovate to your liking, brand new. Okay, so you have a budget surplus. I had to say today you're not going to a max capacity, okay, TDSR of 3 mil or the HDB maximum budget of 1.5 mil. In fact, 1.2 mil, okay, but then you'll put a substantial amount of your savings and your CPF in, okay?
Yeah, and the monthly installment is very sustainable.
Okay, so no rent drain, low vulnerability because you have one party who is working and free and he's not even using his income to sustain the loan.
Yes.
Okay, so last but not least is pathway 4 is the balanced approach, which we call it, safe but not really safe. Okay, why so? Because when you go into resale condo, 3-bedder, $2 million.
2 million, yes.
Okay, 3-bedder, 2 million, yes, there is, but again, it does not fit into their requirement because they want safe space of 7.
Precisely, yeah.
Okay, 3-bedder, a bit squeezy already. Okay, budget control is definitely within the price. No rent drain. However, it still forces a moderate commitment because you are going to condo 2 mil.
Correct.
Okay, renovation, blah, blah, so on and so forth. So you go into it. And then the next thing is today, when their income goes into purchasing or their savings go into purchasing the first condo, right? Would they be able to sustain and purchase the second condo straight away?
Yeah.
Okay, so not that easy. Okay, so as we look into the goal alignment matrix.
Yes, so simple table here, the client to actually have an overall view. Yes, all this that we have mentioned.
Yes.
Space for 7, I think is still okay
Yes.
for everybody. Yeah, then overcommitment, of course, yes, the new launch, so the resale condo.
Yes, immediate move-in, of course.
Investment property, a little bit of an overcommitment.
Yes, correct. So immediate moving, we are looking at new launch, which is not possible. The rest of it actually works. However, as we look at the 4.5 million growth potential, all will have potential.
Yes.
However, if you're looking into the needs and requirements of the current, okay, you realize that the mathematical victor is actually, yes,
Investment strategy.
correct. Okay, so what we have here is 385k capital we're going to put into the anchor, okay, which is your resale HDB EA and jumbo or jumbo.
Yeah, then thereafter the private investment.
Okay, the purpose for the anchor is really to have uncompromised space, notes of convenience, and forever home. Low commitment.
One person can actually sustain the loan.
Yes. Okay. Track 2, which is called the engine, this is the one that's working really hard for you. Okay, because it's a private investment property and we are looking at capital gain. Okay, so I would say the LEX method would then come in very, very strongly because we have to ensure that the location, entry and exit is all sound so that you have a great exit potential.
Yeah, so this is a more of an emotionless entry.
Yes.
And you'll actually get emotionless capital appreciation from that.
Yes.
Yeah, so you leverage on the seller's capacity to rotate this higher asset every 4 years.
Yes. So going into the another part of the list, the L of our C.L.E.A.R framework, we have list out the 4 possibilities really. Next, we'll look into the kind of HDB supplies that is around that fits their goals. Okay. Number 1 is really a EA in 856C, a EA in 336 Tampines.
313 Tampines.
Yes. So all these are going at 1.18 mil, 899k, 998k. So you see, as we allocate this 1.2 mil budget, right?
Yeah.
It leaves ample runway for a 200k bespoke renovation. And
So
this,
you can make it nice, like own
yes,
style.
forever home. I'm sure you want to do something and make sure it's very beautiful. Okay, so you are also protecting your immense capital for the investment phase because seller 1 is not touching his CPF at all.
Correct.
That is for investment. Number 2, he will be having massive savings over the next 5 years and CPF itself because of the interest as well as his own monetary savings.
Yeah.
All right. So as we look into the frame,
So this is how the pathway.
yes, the roadmap.
Yeah, the roadmap will look like.
Yes. Okay, so at age 65, 385k capital unlocked. The first pillar is the wealth accumulation, which is securing the HDB EA.
EA for them. Yeah.
Pillar 2 will be securing the assets progression. Okay, that is acquiring 1.6 to 2 mil property depending on the income of the first seller.
Yeah.
After 5 years. Okay, then pillar 3 is your exit clarity. Every 4 to 5 years, right, we'll do a rotating of investment.
Yes, this is where you cannot be too emotional.
Yes, no, don't buy already. I find it so nice. Earn money, I also don't want to sell. Rent. Okay, rental will have more trouble. All right, because today if you're looking at capital appreciation to hit your retirement goals, right, you really have to buy and sell.
Yeah.
Okay, so pillar 4 is really a timing advantage, leveraging current income capacity. So every time your income change and whatever, if you're comfortable enough, it's time to move into a higher value property.
Precisely.
Okay.
And also, last but not least, the retirement optionality. I think this is something that everybody's looking forward to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 million net worth at age 65 give you a flexibility of working and not working, choosing something they really like to work, and so on and so forth. Okay, as we look into the mathematical ascent, that's where you see the graph. Age 38, 1.1
These are
million.
ages here.
Yes.
And this will be the estimated net worth.
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first one is really at age 38, right? Executed 1.1 mil. At age 43, that's where you can buy your first investment property, and you're taking on the basis that you're buying a 1.5 mil property. So
you
your
have
net worth.
actually a total of 2.6 mil.
Yes. Okay, so some of you might ask, hey, this one 2.6, not I own ma, I'm taking the loan. What? Yes, today if you do nothing, at the age of 65, you will definitely have this $2.6 million net worth. Okay, so today if you don't move, ask yourself this question. If I stay put in my current house, will I get this kind of returns at age 65?
Yes.
And do I have a choice at age 65 to move or shift to another house so that I can unlock my wealth?
Right.
Okay, at age 47 is where we rotate the portfolio again, 2.9 mil. Age 52, 3.4 mil.
Rotate another 2.
Yes, and we are being very, very conservative. You see the amount of increment is always about 300, 500,000.
Correct.
Yes, reason so is because, okay, the jump from 2.9 to 3.4 is because as the income increase, the profit yield that he take back, he can go into a bigger property, and this bigger property would likely generate a higher return.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And then of course by age 56, yeah, they should have a net worth of between 3.9 to 4 mil.
Yes. Okay, so I think very importantly is if you look at it, right, you realize that the investment property that we bring them into and we have planned for that at this point of time is not the one that is massive sizes, because we have to look at the exit demand. Okay, we are going to making them buy something that is easily the local buyers. Yes. So if not, you don't understand where we are coming at, do watch our previous video and you understand. All right.
And then of course by the target age of 65, that's where a lot of people will be in retirement mode. Okay, and then we take into account that with lease decay, the current EA that they will have will be at about 900k.
Yes, a drop in 200k value over the next 25 years.
Yeah.
I think is very reasonable.
Yes.
It might not drop because inflation still comes, but then we want to put it in a way that it will drop.
We keep it safe.
Yes. All right. So at age 65, I think while staying on in their forever home, which is the HDB, okay, they will have liquid cash of 3.1 mil if they pay off.
They pay off and they sold.
Yes. Correct.
The investment property.
Yeah, so the ideal situation is at age 65, I think you do not want to do investment in properties anymore.
You probably might just want to chill, you
Yeah.
know, just relax and enjoy your retirement mood.
Yes. So what you have is you have a fully paid HDB that is for your own stay, zero debt, okay, and of course then if you sell her property, you have a 3.1 million deployed in financial savings tools. Okay, it should yield you about $12,000 a month based on a 5% per annum growth. So today, I understand this, the architecture that we plan for protects the family today and entirely funds your freedom tomorrow. And that's the C.L.E.A.R framework. The thing that we don't want is when, buyers or sellers, right, think that they saw that, hey, the neighbors all sell their property.
Yeah, then I also rush to sell.
Yes, and go into the overcommitment because of hype. When you go into show flat, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you do calculation and you max out your TDSR and realize, yes, I can afford. But then you will suffer over the next few years and you can't wait to sell off your property.
Yes. You don't want to be in a desperate situation where you want to sell it off so that you can fund for other stuff also.
Yes, so that's why it's important to understand the water concept as well as to apply the C.L.E.A.R framework in your property roadmap. Okay, and this is David
and Audrey, your wealth architects.
Yes, and stay tuned for our next episode as we will run through another case study and we'll show you again how do we apply our C.L.E.A.R framework so that you can learn and apply it if you want to do it yourself. So this is David again, and she's Audrey. We are founder of Water Concept, C.L.E.A.R framework, and LEX Method, and we help sellers or buyers plan a property roadmap so that you buy with clarity. Okay, see you next episode.
See you next time.
Bye.